Hello, my name is Brittany Burgess and I'm an admissions representative with Kansas State University Online, and I wanted to start with thanking everyone for joining us here tonight to learn more about our online Professional Master of Business Administration program. I'm joined tonight with the director of the PMBA program, Susie Otten. And Susie's going to spend the next 30 minutes giving us a presentation about this program, and then we'll spend the last 10 to 15 minutes answering questions. Throughout the duration of this presentation, we will be monitoring the chat feature and answering questions as they're being asked. Some of your questions may be saved until the end for Susie to answer. And now I'm going to turn it over to Susie.
Thanks, Brittany.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking time out of your evening to join us. This is a program that I'm particularly proud of. I've been director of the program since it was launched in fall of 13, and we've steadily grown. We started with 5 students, and now I have about 125 advisees, students that are in different stages of their MBA. But as we get to talking about the features of our program, it'll make sense to you why so many are at different stages. But you're also considering this program at a really remarkable time, because we were just announced last month as being ranked 25th in the nation out of over 300 programs that U.S. News and World Report looked at. So that's another reason why I'm so proud that we have faculty that are dedicated to this program and have engaged in just constantly improving their classes and making the program stronger. So thank you for your interest. So let me get to this is just a better shot of me than what you're probably seeing on the screen. I've worked at K-State. It's my very first full-time job. I've grown up in Manhattan, lived here since I was 10, so I'm a K-Stater through and through, but have really appreciated the educational opportunities I've personally been able to have, and so it makes me feel extra excited to be able to share some of the K-Statiness with you. Even though you're online, you're still part of us, and we're enthusiastic about sharing what our program and what our the benefits of our program are to help you advance in your career. So some of the factors to consider when you're looking at any program is to look at accreditation, cost, what the format is, whether it's a flexible program or lockstep, kind of support services that you'll be able to avail yourselves of. And then I'm going to end with K-State's program features and how, and hopefully will make you feel better about making a choice to join our program. But even if you don't join K-State's program, which I hope is not an option, I would hope that you would look at these features at other programs that you're considering. So first of all, accreditation status. K-State, we have double accreditation for our business programs and accounting programs by the Association to Advance Colleges and Schools of Business, or AACSB. It's the highest accreditation any program, any business program can receive, and it's internationally recognized. Fewer than 5% of all MBA programs are accredited by AACSB, and then of that 5%, fewer than 5% hold dual accreditation. So you can see why we're really proud that we hold the dual accreditation, and that assures that you're going to be getting a high quality education. AACSB holds us to very high standards that we don't just meet once. We have to keep meeting those standards and pushing ourselves even farther as a process of continuous improvement. And so we just received reaccreditation last year, and so we'll be accredited for another 5 years. We'll go through it all again. So the cost of a program is important to consider as well. Our program, if you have to take all 12 hours, will cost you $30,000, which is a huge investment on your part. But comparatively speaking, we're on the lower end of similarly accredited programs. So we hold the same accreditation as University of Texas at Austin, where their students are paying $105,000 for an MBA. Oklahoma State is at $55,000. So we feel like with our national ranking of 25 that we can give you a better return on your investment. Yes, it's a lot of money, but so per course you're going to be paying $2,500. We provide your textbooks and any required materials at no additional cost. So that if you're considering other programs, you might want to check into what your tuition covers. You also won't be charged any distance fees or any. $2,500 is all you're going to be charged, so that flat amount. And it doesn't matter whether you're a resident or non-resident, everybody pays the same. Even if you live abroad, everybody pays the same amount. And we can, there are ways that you can finance your graduate education. Hopefully you have an employer that might provide tuition reimbursement or possibly sponsorship. We do provide, through the generosity of K-State Online, has scholarships reserved only for distance students, and our PMBA students have been pretty successful at earning those scholarships. There are scholarships based on financial need. There are also scholarships that are merit-based. So if you establish a K-State GPA, every semester you can apply for scholarships to help defray the costs. And then if you'll kind of look at your tuition as being an investment in your future, giving you education, business knowledge that will advance you in your career, hopefully you'll get those advancement opportunities and recoup the investment that you're making. In terms of the format, all of our classes are completely online. There are no residency requirements, meaning you are not required to come to campus to participate in any of your classes. We do require that you come to campus once while you're in the program and participate in PMBA orientation. We hold that every August on the Friday and Saturday before the fall semester begins. So in 2020, our orientation is scheduled for August 21st and 22nd, Friday and Saturday. We start at lunch and we end just before lunch on Saturday. And our classes are set up in an 8-week format, so students can take 2 classes per semester, make adequate progress, but you're only going to be taking 1 class at a time. So you'll take 1 class the first 8 weeks, another class the second 8 weeks. Repeat that in the next semester, and then you can also take a summer class. So that helps students to make quick progress. It makes it possible for you to finish your degree in 2 to 2.5 years. And then you also have peer-to-peer interaction opportunities online. Even though you're a distance student, we want you to have interactions that would be similar to what you might in a classroom. You'll have group projects sometimes in your classes, and you'll be afforded the opportunity to use this Zoom feature that you're using to connect to the webinar right now, to connect with your classmates so that you can have face-to-face conversations instead of everything just being by email or by telephone. We have a very flexible format. So we have a rolling admission process, which means anytime a new set of classes is set to begin, represents an entry point into our program. So right now we're admitting students for March. The session that starts March, is it 23rd? That's a Monday after, I guess it's a couple weeks after spring break this time. But Monday, March 23rd to May 15th is our second half of spring session. And it's possible to start that quickly if you can get your application in the next couple of weeks. Otherwise, you could start in June with the summer session, or wait until fall and start in late August. So that would be August 26th, 24th. It's Monday the 24th. And so you are never required to be live like you are now on this webinar. The lectures are pre-recorded. Often the lectures for the entire course are available to you on Canvas, which is our learning management system, so that you could work ahead if you need to. Let's say you have a big project at work coming up and you know your time's going to be very limited. You could go ahead and do the next week's assignments. You'll also have requirements where you'll participate in discussion boards, online discussion boards with your classmates. The faculty members will post a question or a topic that everybody's required to respond to. And then at some point in that week, you'll need to respond to one or two other students' posts so that there's some active discussion going on. And our faculty love teaching the PMBA students because they feel like they learn from your work experience. Our campus students are generally traditionally aged, so it's all theory for those students still, whereas the PMBA students with the work experience can do a lot more in-depth application of the concepts that they're learning, and the faculty have found that the discussions and interactions are very rich. And then finally, in terms of flexibility, is you could do a general management degree if you wish and take only one elective, or we can help you take an additional elective and group it with one of your other core classes to develop a concentration. It's not a requirement. Some people prefer to have a concentration. My philosophy is that since you're working full-time, you're already in your area of concentration and may not need to have that in order to advance in your career, that you're really just looking for the business knowledge so that you can move into management positions, for example. So you could have a concentration, don't have to. And we can talk further because each of your programs of study are going to be fairly unique to you in terms of whether you're going to go chop, chop, chop all the way through or spread things out a little bit. And at K-State, you're, as a College of Business student, even though you technically belong to the graduate school, you're eligible for services through the College of Business. I'll be your advisor throughout your whole time in the program, and I'm always happy to answer questions. I think the worst question to ask is the one that isn't asked. So never feel shy about contacting me if you have a question about your program or about getting a resource that you need or getting in touch with your faculty member. That I'm here to serve you. We also offer professional development. When you come for orientation, the first day is spent learning graduate school policies, program policies, learning, you'll get to hear from the people that offer mentorship and career services, but you'll also interact with the faculty that will be teaching you throughout the program and meeting the other students that are in the program. So it's a really great opportunity for networking. And then the second day of orientation, you'll do a professional development seminar, and that topic changes every year. So you're required to come once. We'll invite you every year that you're in the program, just in case you want to take advantage of the professional development or meet other students coming into the program. And then the College of Business has a mentorship, an executive mentor program. So many times employees are provided a mentor at the work site. Sometimes it's kind of nice to have somebody outside your work environment that you can confidentially talk to about issues that you're facing that maybe you don't feel you can talk to somebody within your own company. They're there to provide you a different perspective and opportunities for mentorship and guidance that we hope that you'll take advantage of. And then you're also eligible for career services. we recently, it sounds odd to tell you that we can provide career services when most of you are already working full-time. But we recently, with students in the Wichita area, especially with the aviation industry, there's, with the downing of is it the 737, the stalling on that 737 development, there's been a round of layoffs that have happened with Spirit Aerosystems. And so we have been able to help students get connected and find employment. And so that's something that you would be able to take advantage of as well. So why K-State's PMBA program? So we have a 36-hour program, 12 courses maximum, that are all completed online. It's possible if you have a business degree that you may be eligible to waive some of our courses. An easy example is somebody who majored in accounting and has a 3.5 GPA or higher can waive accounting 810. Somebody who majored in finance and has a 3.5 GPA would be able to waive finance 815. Management undergrads who took organizational behavior and human resource management would be able to waive management 820 in our program. So there are different ways to lighten your academic load if you have previous academic experience. Additionally, we have been able to count, like certification in Lean Six Sigma has been able to be used for waiver of management 810, operations and supply chain management, which has a basis in Six Sigma. So there are different ways that you can have a shorter program of study, and I can work through that with you individually. But you do not have to have a business degree to be able to enter our program. What we do require is that you have completed 2 economics courses, usually micro and macro, but you could have taken intro to micro and intermediate micro, and the same with macro. And we also require 2 statistics courses or 1 at the graduate level, and that you have completed at least business calculus and linear algebra. So if you are an engineer, you far exceed our math requirements by going all the way through differential equations. So we usually are able to waive the stats requirement for engineering students. If you took Calc 1, that's more than general calculus and linear algebra, so you would have satisfied that requirement as well. We can also waive the GMAT exam if you're not a fan of taking standardized tests. Applicants who have 3 years of post-baccalaureate work experience are automatically waived out of the GMAT. And then if you have a 3.5 or higher GPA, we can waive the application fee. But because you are participating tonight, K-State Online is providing you automatically with an application fee waiver, regardless of what your GPA is. And then a unique aspect of our program is we require our students to participate in an international experience. The class is GENBA 875. It consists of a business trip that's 10 to 14 days in length. Most of them are 10 days. I can think of only 1 trip that has ever been 14 days, and that's because they flew to Australia. And it's a long flight, so they wanted to maximize their time on the ground while they were there. But part of each country that we go to, I mean, it doesn't matter which country you go to, all of the trips are structured as an international business trip where you're going to be doing at least 4 or 5 business visits, and then interacting with C-suite executives. So most of the time it's been the CEO has come and spent time with us. But there have been times where the chief financial officer led the visit for us. But it's your chance to talk with these executives and hear and learn and see how the business concepts that you're learning are being applied in an international business environment. We have a trip coming up in May where we're going to the United Kingdom and Belgium, with specifically focusing on the effects of the Brexit. Great Britain has left the European Union and are strictly going to be using the pound. And so we're going to be able to visit companies and see how that has affected them, how it has affected their strategy. And then we're also going to go take the train through the Channel and do a similar visit in Brussels and Bruges and see why those companies elected to relocate to so that they could stay in the European Union and continue with the euro. So it's really a historical time to be doing this trip, and I'm really excited about it. So outside of the structured time, you'll do cultural immersion. We've been to Taiwan, Italy, China, South Korea, and Costa Rica. And we have a trip coming up to the Netherlands and Germany. So we try to mix it up a little bit. And there are scholarship opportunities to help defray those expenses as well. So your tuition is included in that original $25,000 to $30,000, depending how many classes you need to take. But what isn't included in there is the cost of the trip itself. So and those prices vary depending where you go. Our trip to Taiwan costs about $2,400 because this dollar is just very strong there. The trip to the United Kingdom and Belgium is running with airfare. I think it's running about $4,200. So South Korea tends to be pretty reasonable as well. So we have, and there occur at times where there's not instruction going on. So you're not going to be trying to log on and get another class done while you're abroad. You're going to just be living in the moment, so to speak, while you're there. And then you'll also have free time to explore on your own or with a subset of the group. And if you have a spouse or partner that you'd like to bring along, they may accompany you. They just pay the program fee. They don't pay tuition. So I'm finishing a little early, but you know, with K-State's professional MBA program, you earn your degree while maintaining full-time employment. So, and we design the courses so that you can apply what you're learning immediately when you go to work the next day. You can complete your degree in as little as 2 years, but you can take as long as 6. And this sometimes happens for life reasons. I have had a student who at 40 discovered she was pregnant. She thought she couldn't have children, and it has rocked her world. So she's taking a little hiatus. But also sometimes it takes longer because we can structure your program to maximize your tuition benefits. Some companies only provide $5,000 a year to their employees. And so in order to minimize out-of-pocket expenses, some students maybe only take 3 classes total per year. So it just takes a little bit longer, but again, you have up to 6 years to complete that degree. Competitively, we're about 1/3 the price of other similarly accredited programs. If you're looking at the Texas schools, Louisiana State, I think is over 55. Oklahoma State's in the 50s. So it's a pretty good deal for a high quality program. And we don't hide any costs. I mean, $2,500 per class is all you're going to pay. And I've been very successful at telling my boss we cannot raise tuition. So we don't expect it to go up while you're in the program. And then you get to learn from faculty who have industry experience. So they're not just book smart. They've been accountants in large corporations. They've been financial advisors and analysts. Many of our faculty are heavily engaged in research. So you're going to be learning cutting edge theories from them that they have been spending a significant amount of time studying so that they can have a stronger teaching portfolio. And finally, you'll develop an international competency in appreciating cultures that are different from our own, understanding how business can be done differently. Hopefully that would inform you. We've had a couple of people, one guy is moving to Japan in about 2 months. So he has really felt like his international trip helped him appreciate being able to conduct business internationally, and it's really opened his eyes and opening the world to him. So that's, I think, about all I can throw at you right now. It's been quite a bit of information, but feel free to ask questions. You can either type in the chat box or turn on your microphone and ask a question, or feel free to send me an email later. If you would like, I'm happy to do a pre-application review of your transcripts and let you know if you're even eligible for entry into our program and what a draft program of study would look like for you. So if you told me when you were interested in starting, I could give you a sample program that would project out when you could expect to graduate. So we're happy to help you and get the information that you need for this very important decision. So with that, I'm open for questions. Well, feel free to reach out. I really appreciate you taking the time and happy to answer any questions at any time. Just shoot me an email.
Alrighty, well, I want to thank Susie for that wonderful presentation, and I also want to thank everyone for joining us here tonight. Everyone who is registered for the webinar will be receiving a recording via email when we have it ready. And it sounds like we have a question.
Okay.
So we're going to take a minute.
Okay, so the question is, I've submitted my application for the general MBA. Do I need to do a separate app for the emphasis in an area? No, we can just develop an emphasis if that's what you decide to do. And that's kind of what we'll do together when we craft your program of study. There are required classes you have to take, but with those electives, we can work those into your schedule to give you that area of concentration. That's a really good question.
Wonderful, thank you.
We've had some other people add.
Alrighty, well, I want to remind everyone that we will be sending out the recording of the webinar via email as soon as it's available. And also be sure to let everyone know that we do have application fee waivers available. So feel free to reach out to us at online@ksu.edu when you're ready to apply, and we will provide you with a code. And if you have any additional questions that we didn't cover tonight, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Well, have a great evening, and thank you again for joining us.